Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. The former Prime Minister Raila Odinga appeared on NTV to address the current state of the nation. And what I beheld today is very sad because someone wants to destroy the legacy of Raila Odinga, a legacy that he built over the years. That legacy is now being destroyed by none other than William Samoei Ruto, and Raila has agreed to carry the burden of this government, and that is going to destroy Raila completely. First, Mzee Raila appeared a man with less energy, the political energy that he carried over the years. And I have a feeling that Raila should exit the stage. He has done enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we must agree. I know many people are saying that Raila betrayed Gen Zs. Raila has done enough, and William Ruto wants to expose Raila, humiliate him, subject him to a lot of ridicule, because Raila really was stranded, and he was stammering and stumbling when he was given an opportunity to explain about three things that I really felt really cornered him completely. Raila said something that is very sad to me. Raila is being asked what happened to the NADCO report, especially when it comes to the issue of abductions and killings. He's now inviting people to talk, yet one of the things that they talked about with President Ruto was that Ruto must stop killing the youths. And Raila was saying that there is a red alert that when William Ruto reaches, then they will have to act. And then he was being asked, on Sabasaba alone, 38 people were killed. Then on 25th June last year, some people were killed. Without even mentioning the youths who were killed during the Azimio demonstration. So the question that the journalist was asking Raila was, how much more blood is he waiting for to be spilled so that he can really conclude that Ruto has, crossed the red flag or the limit? Then Raila was also cornered about the Sabasaba and the connection to Kamkunji. And I will show you that. Raila was also humiliated when he was now trying to direct people and justify that when people go for demonstrations, they're not supposed to go to the CBD, yet we know that Raila's demonstrations brought the country to a standstill, and the roads to CBD and the CBD itself, the businesses were closed during his demonstrations. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to watch Raila Odinga, and you will agree with me that his advisors must insist that he exits the stage, because a good dancer knows when to exit the stage. If you go for too long, then all your legacy will be destroyed. But before we do this, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present to you Mama Peter, a widow who is really pleading for your assistance. As we have always done it, sometimes it is good as we do politics, we go back to the society and we try to help the less fortunate. And today, I'm at the heart of Mukuru Kwajenga. Mama Peter is a widow who lost her husband just 2 months ago. And that has changed the course of their lives, because Peter, who is the firstborn, has been sent home for school fees. Mama Peter is doing these menial jobs of washing clothes for people, is looking for people who would want her assistance to wash clothes. She's saying it is not sustainable. Her rent, she's defaulted in paying her rent. Things are just so difficult for her, and she feels like giving up. So I was invited, and I want you to listen to Mama Peter because we want to help Mama Peter. We are doing a 50 bob challenge, but first of all, please listen to Mama Peter. So Mama Peter,
yes.
Asante kwa kutukaribisha hapa. Hebu ongea na sisi kidogo, uongee kwa sauti kidogo.
Sawa, karibu sana. Mimi naitwa Mama Peter. Ningewaomba, mimi nilikuwa na mzee lakini akafariki, ilikuwa ghafla, na venye ilikuwa ghafla maisha ikatulemea, katafuta nyumba kama hizi, na mimi hufanya kazi ya kufua, lakini kwa saa hii kazi iko chini sana juu kazi yenye tunafanya huwezi pata ya kulisha watoto, kulipa rent. Sasa chenye ningeomba tu nisaidie nipate pesa ya kulipa nyumba, sababu nyumba nayo nimedaiwa miezi 4 sijalipa, na ni kama tunataka kufukuzwa. Ningewaomba kama tu ningeweza nisaidie nipate ya kulipa nyumba na ya kupeleka mtoto wangu shule. Kwa saa hii aliambiwa asirudi shule bila school fees. Kama ingewezekana nipate na nifungue kabiashara kidogo ili niweze kulisha watoto.
Sasa, so Mama Peter says there, nyumba anadaiwa mwezi 4. I think tukipata kitu kidogo tumfungulie biashara ataweza kulipa nyumba yake. So that is our request, and then Peter apate kitu kidogo ya school fees, tushike Peter kwa sababu hao ndio future generation, na akiachwa hivyo, unajua sasa hivi yenye dada yuko maisha itawalemea. So I trust that we are going to do it, and may God bless you even as you plan to give. We are only doing a 50 bob challenge. Ile 50 bob uko nayo, ile kitu kidogo uko nayo, ili tuweze kusaidia hii familia. Kidogo kidogo hujaza kibaba. If you are touched, please do something. Ladies and gentlemen, Raila Odinga was in NTV. Please take a look and listen at how the man we once loved fumbled. Even in physique, he's very weak. And you will agree with me that someone should advise him to exit the stage. Even before he exits the stage, he should leave William Ruto to carry his own burden. Kindly take a look. Before we do that, please like and share our videos. If you're watching for the first time, subscribe and click the notification bell. Kindly watch this.
As we speak, the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights records that 38 lives that were lost in the Sabasaba protests alone. There were the June 25th protests as well, 2025. Lives lost. The dignity of human life, the point of extrajudicial killings, was spoken about in the 10-point agenda. That's why I'm asking, then, what number will get us to this red line? Because you said there is a red line.
You see, our own issue of Sabasaba, we were actually commemorating Sabasaba. And I came out clearly and said I was going to go to Kamkunji to commemorate Sabasaba. Because Sabasaba was about Kamkunji. It was not about just general demonstrations countrywide, okay? And I said I would go to Kamkunji. Unfortunately, other people actually took actions elsewhere differently. And the situation actually became almost uncontrollable. You remember, I was not even able to go to Kamkunji because the streets were closed by the government. And Sabasaba was about going to Kamkunji to ask the people of Kenya if the country is ready for multipartyism.
Your Excellency, you are contradicting yourself when you say Sabasaba was about Kamukunji. This is why I say so. On 4th July 2023, these are 3 days to Sabasaba of 2023. This is what you said. You were at the SKM Command Center and you said that the only weapon that we have, this is direct quote, the only weapon that we have in our land is our sovereign power to picket, to protest, to boycott, and to embark on civil disobedience. We begin this on Friday, July the 7th. You went further to say that we invite all our people to prepare to join the Kamukunji in Nairobi and in different other places across the country on Friday. I want to repeat that it is not just in Nairobi, even other centers across the country. July 4th, 2023. 2 years down the line, what has changed?
But that is very specific. I said Kamkunji and also in other centers. In other words, people, wherever they were going to say, this is where we are going to go. This is where we are going to picket. So it must be specific. You must say clearly that we are going to go to this particular place to picket. If you're saying in Nairobi, we say we are going to Kamkunji. That's the only place. So it's not going to be in Kawangware, it's not going to be in Woodley, it's not going to be in Mukuru-Kwanjenga or anywhere else. It's a specific place. And that is where you have the police to be.
The people of Kenya who were taking part in the protest said they would do Sabasaba or take part in the protest, not at Kamkunji, but they said the specific places, Nairobi CBD, and they listed different other places which they were to occupy. Was there anything wrong with that?
Yes, I was just saying, CBD, you go to CBD, basically, you are going to cause a lot of destruction to the business of CBD. That's why even ourselves, when we were with Charles Rubia and Kenneth Matiba, we said we'll go to Kamkunji grounds, where we are going to talk to the people of Kenya and ask them if they are ready for multipartyism or not. So it was a very specific agenda. This is what I'm trying to say. There's nothing different. We're saying that if we are going to do demonstrations, we don't want the other people whose businesses are private to be affected. We want to go and make a point so that the government listens to what we are trying to say. This is what it is. So, and this is how it happened all over the world. It's not just in Kenya.
Now, a recap of what we have seen there, that to me is a little bit humiliating. 38 people died on Sabasaba. Some more died June last year. But then the journalist there is asking Raila, you are talking of some limit, a red flag or a red alert, or some limit that you're waiting for William Ruto to cross so that you can act. The question is, how much more blood, or how many people do you want to be killed so that you can go back to the NADCO report, to whatever you signed, even the 10-point agenda, one of them being that the government should stop abducting youths and they stop killing them. How many are you waiting for? I don't think he answered that question. Because if they signed an agenda, then more people are being killed, but he still doesn't feel that this is the right time to act because many people are being killed, then something is wrong. It means the whole idea of signing this, let's begin with the NADCO report and the 10-point agenda that they signed after losing the African Union Commission seat, was just a mere formality. It was meant to justify his support for William Ruto. It was meant to ensure that he never went to the opposition because Wamunyoro was waiting for him. And we are being taken for granted because we need to know from the ODM, maybe they need to address this. How many more people are they waiting for? Maybe to die so that they can speak. The second one, Raila was cornered there when he stated that Sabasaba is not about demonstrations, but it is about Kamkunji. Then you saw the evidence there. He himself had one day said that people are supposed to demonstrate in their areas. If you are in Kisumu, if you are in Eldoret. And you could see the way he struggled to justify that. At first he's saying it is not about demonstrations. It is about Kamkunji because it is Kamkunji where they went with people like Matiba, demanding for multipartyism. And there's something that I really want to caution the ODM. The ODM is not part of the youth revolution or the complaints that the youths are putting across. Yet they still want to control. Because if Baba believes that in those years they were fighting for multipartism, this time round the youths are not fighting for multipartism, but they want the idea of multipartism be actualized. Because if they were talking about multipartism, yet an opposition party is joining the government and now supporting things like Adani deal, they stop talking about killing people. They are still waiting for more to be killed to feel that it is now a red alert. They join the government with their people and they now are part of the oppressor. People like Junet and Joe are saying, ukicheza na Ruto utatupata. Then that is not multipartism. It is themselves who are now fighting to kill that multipartism. And the youths want that multipartism to be actualized. You cannot compel the youths to go to Kamkunji. They have their ideas because they said, during this Sabasaba when people were fighting for the rights of Kenyans, we also have what we are fighting for. We want to remember our people who were killed. We want to express our displeasure and disappointment with this government. So Raila cannot come and tell them that since you are doing this on Sabasaba, you must do it my way. You have to go to Kamkunji. And he should not even say that we are now helping you. The youths know what they want. They know how to do it. They never invited the ODM or Raila Odinga. If anything, Raila ditched them at the 11th hour. And so he should not even purport to be telling them what to do on Sabasaba. Then about demonstrations, we've always seen the demonstrations that were led by Raila Odinga. It was meant to show the government that we have the mighty powers. We can make the country, come to a standstill. No businesses are open. Even the CBD, they closed. Today he's telling us that you should not demonstrate in the CBD, surely. What has really changed? And if it feels that, youths should not go and demonstrate on the CBD, Raila has a following. When he told them, don't go for the demonstrations, they didn't, they stopped. This is another wave of demonstrations being championed by another generation. And I want to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Raila Baba must accept that he has done a lot to this country and his time is up. He should now allow this generation to take over. Let him not interfere. He had abandoned them. He had betrayed them. Now he should not even try and control them. And it is very painful that William Ruto is using Raila Odinga, a man who has built his legacy, and he wants to destroy that legacy. I don't know whether he wants to destroy it or he has destroyed it within just 1 year. You look at the legacy of Raila and you want to ask, what has he done for this nation? People even now tend to imagine that he was never real for the fight for freedom in this country. How do you fight for the freedom of people and then you join the oppressor at the last minute? And we can easily conclude that maybe he was never honest, though that line of thought really baffles me because he did it. We have a new constitution. But why does he join a government that is now mutilating and disregarding the very, very constitution? Raila is trying to help a sinking ship. This government is sinking. They don't respect the human rights. The economy is not doing well as much as they try to use those terms. Just the other day, Ndindi Nyoro told us how they have taken some loans and they are messing us. If you read the report from the Auditor General and the control of budget, then you will agree with Ndindi Nyoro that things are not in the right direction. And he has agreed to carry this burden. He's called Moshomoja. This is the guy who told us how Waiguru was bad. Then later Waiguru alikuwa mweupe kama pamba. This is the guy who complained about Uhuru. Then he said Uhuru was the best president. This is the guy who led people to demonstrations. Youths were killed. Now Ruto is the best president. They are saying they have stabilized the government. No one is talking about compensation. He was asked about that compensation, is saying some days, very soon they will be compensated. Something tells me that the ODM brigade and those who are around Mzee feel, I don't know, it is bitterness or jealousy that Gen Zs, somehow have overtaken them. Gen Zs have gone to parliament. Gen Zs are crazy. Many people thought that without Raila, no demonstrations can take place. And I know there are people who feel these youths are taking the mileage. They're doing it more than you did it. And maybe they don't want to accept that a time has come, whether they do it deliberately or not, they must pass on the baton. That's why they have remained stagnant. And I can tell you that there is nothing new that the ODM led by Raila can give this nation, because what they talk about is talk, talk, talk. And in every discussion on the talks that they talk about, the talks result into Raila getting into government, whether through the back door or what, but he's always getting into government and he forgets about the fighting for freedom. Once he gets there, they defend that government so that no one even now criticizes that government. And if I was in charge, I would advise Baba, you've done enough. You look at him, the energy is gone. Wacheni kusumbua mzee. Ruto achane na Raila, because you are giving Raila a hard time defending you. Raila has a hard time defending himself. He looks a shadow of his former self. This is not the Raila you knew. He's really fumbled. He's been humiliated. There's nothing there. The ODM brigade and those who follow Raila will try to justify, but you cannot justify the obvious. I've never seen Raila being subjected to ridicule and humiliation like that. Fumbling. Let someone tell Raila to exit the state, not to protect William Ruto, because you cannot defend the indefendable. You cannot. I don't know what you think, but to me, that was really humiliating.